Hello, hello. I am Brittany Rowe. I am energy. I am powerful, and I am who I say I am. It is kind of late, but I still wanted to post this video so it could be on my YouTube channel for those that will look or listen to it a little bit later. Because I thought about how in the physical reality, I think about it all the time when I see people being controlled that I didn't post anything about the seven principal laws of the universe. Some people call it the universal laws. They'll call it the hermetic laws. But these particular laws, they actually govern the energy of this particular universe. And I wanted to go over them right quickly so I could post it on my YouTube channel. Just leave it there for people to watch later if hello. Thanks for joining me. To watch later. But I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into that right quick. And I feel like this is really important because, knowledge is power. And a lot of people, they say they woke, they say that they understand what's going on in the universe. But oftentimes we have to sit down and study and just like the biblical text says, study and show thyself approved and rightly divide the word of truth. So this is something that predates, Jesus, the Bible, and something that I wanted to share with you all. So there are seven universal principle laws. Number one. Number one is the principle of mentalism. Number one simply says that all is mental. And as I go over them, I'm just going to share my take on what I get out of them. I'm just calling out the seven and sharing my take, and you decide whether you want to digest this or spit it out. It's up to you because I cannot create in your reality. Number one, all is mental. And so the reason why I want to talk about this particular one is because you see people in the physical reality who are being controlled. Like, say, for instance, you had, at a football game, you see people watching TV, or you could even see people being controlled on commercials, the little propaganda. They'll tell you at the bottom in the fine print of the commercial that is you're being programmed. But this is what I really want to share about the mentalism for people who don't want to seek knowledge and want to stay on their straight and narrow and don't want to change anything about their physical reality. If you pay attention to it, people who are nice, people who are sweet, they're kind of like blind from the truth. They're blind from knowledge, so to speak. And then when you start to consciously wake up and start questioning things and start doing research, then all of a sudden you're not nice no more. Now you work for the devil, you know? Just like even in the biblical text, they had the tree of knowledge, but that was considered like evil. Evil for people to know knowledge, to know truth, right? And it's no different today in the physical reality. If you're trying to seek truth or knowledge for self, you know, then you're frowned upon. They'll call you the devil. They'll put you out of the church or whatever, and look in kind of like shown on you like you don't belong. You're not a part of everybody else. You got to go with the grain of everybody else. That broad path that leads to destruction because of the ignorance of the multitude that's on that particular path. So all being mental lets you know that your thoughts alone is a very thing in this physical reality that's running this show. And I'm gonna show you this here by just how people could do something really sneaky to you, and you probably never paid attention. But I'm gonna just use the word imagine, and the word imagine alone is a very powerful word. And so I just want to share this on my channel. So when you hear somebody, this is just one of many things out there that is really powerful. So when you hear somebody say the word imagine, what is happening is they're clearing your mind. Everything that comes after the word imagine, they're going to clear your mind and have you to think upon the things that they want you to. So basically, you know how I talk about being in a limited box of thinking? After they say the word imagine to you, you're going to begin to imagine whatever they're talking or speaking of, whether they say don't imagine or do imagine. So I'm going to throw this out here as an example. So if you hear somebody say, oh, close your eyes, and I want you to imagine a red sports car driving down the street and blah, 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 blah. So now your eyes are closed, and whatever you were thinking about at first, you cleared your mind and you're thinking about that sports car. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do it the opposite way. This is just showing you how all is mental, and that you're running the show through your thoughts, and how people could control your thoughts. So we're going to do the opposite, and we're going to say not. So whatever you do not think about a pink piggy bank. And I'm willing to bet that you still thought about that pink piggy bank, simply because the word imagine, either way you put it, is very powerful, and to clear your thoughts and to have you thinking whatever person wanted. You know, we have all kind of propaganda out there. You know, we have, a lot of ads, and people, they be trying to get over, people that prey on the weak, so all is mental is my favorite of all 7 of these principles, because it lets you know that you're really running the show. It lets you know how powerful our thoughts alone, are, because in the beginning, that's all we had was thoughts. Just looking, if you correlate it to the biblical text, in the beginning was the word. The word is expression of thought. So this whole creation, this whole physical reality stems from this thing called thought. And this first principle, all is mental, is really profound and really lets you see that. So anyway, and let's see. Oh, hey, Cedric, how are you? Thank you for joining us. Let's see. So the things that are indeed are more powerful than that what you're seeing. Exactly. Unseen. Right. Definitely. So here we go. Number 2. Number 2 for these laws is the principle of vibration. And for those of you who follow me, I always talk about energy, frequency, and vibration. So this particular law is the principle of vibration, stating that nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. And so basically, that's what I mean when I'm saying all things are energy. When I say you are energy, you are powerful, you are who you say you are, because nothing is at rest. Nothing. You might look at, like I have this laptop and this mic in front of me. It is not at rest. It's still vibrating. Everything has a frequency about it. As people, this so-called solid matter, it's still moving. And the way you could really understand this even better is because some things here we can't see with our physical eyes, but there is a vibration that some people will call maybe the ancestors, but just because we can't see them, you and I can't see them, doesn't mean it does not exist. It just means that it's vibrating a little bit higher than where you are. So this is why we can have things like angels that people can see with their physical eyes, or even if you call them angles of light, it still exists. It's just not in your particular spectrum where you can see. Just like, for example, they have the doggy whistles, the doggy whistles that the doggy could hear, but other people can't hear the sound. It's still a vibration. It's still frequency. All is energy. And so this particular principle shines the light on the fact that everything is vibrating. Nothing is staying still, because all is energy. And so the third principle is a principle of correspondence. And this lets you know that as above, so below, as below, so above, as within, so without, and as without, so within. And so we could tie this one here back to when we were in church, how in the Our Father prayer, they'll say on earth as it is in heaven. So this one here lets you know that just this so-called physical avatar that we set in, it correlates with everything outside of us. We correlate with the star, with the stars in the sky. We correlate the moon with the sun, with plants, with earth, with the elements. Even if we just look at the elements itself, how everybody comes at a certain month, in the physical reality, and they're given a sign. And with each sign, with each zodiac sign, they have associated with them an element, whether it is earth, fire, air, or water. If we just look at those four things, as above, so below, we look at those four things. So we have the earth. We are connected. We are the earth. This is why in the biblical text they'll say, from dust thou art, and dust thou shalt return. And the earth, in its crust, it has these minerals that our body need. At the same time, we have iron, we have phosphorus, we have iodine, all inside of the earth itself. And we need those things in our physical body. So that's earth. The air, the breath that we breathe is the breath of life. So that's our air. Water, 80% of our body is made up of water. Fire, we have a solar plex, or that fire within, our energy network. So if you look at everything outside, we could even go as further from the elements and even talk about things in the physical reality of creation, of how they make cars, how they make cell phones. That's us. That's a duplicate of the energy that stems from us, like a swimming pool. We are the pool, just like we need the water. A swimming pool has to have water. The swimming pool has to have a pH balance. The swimming pool has skimmers and sails. We have our organs, that need to be cleaned and filtered. The swimming pool needs muriatic acid. We need our citrus fruit to clean up our organs, so basically, as above, so below, as within, so without, because we are the universe. We are the sky. That darkness that we see in the sky, that melanin, that carbon, we have that. We just have it at different frequencies. Everybody here has some trace, some source, some different type of melanin inside of them to be able to be seen by others, right? So the next one, let's see, number 4 is a principle of polarity. Now, this one here is simply stating that everything is dual and it has poles or opposites. So these opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. And so I did a video on my channel that said all is God. And so that's how I look at this particular one. All being God, because of this polarity deal, or you could call it also maybe duality. Everything has two sides. So here in the physical, we'll have something called the beginning and the end. We'll have like love, and then we'll have fear. We'll have this God and the devil. But these are things that we try to separate and give the two sides, but it's just different frequencies. Just like a coin, you have a coin and you have heads on one side and then you have tails on the other side, but the coin itself still is an expression of God, no matter what side you flip it on. But people will say, okay, well, if you lean too much here and you start doing da 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 da, then you work for the devil. And then if you love, and only love, and just be just this good spirited person, then you on God's side. But we are in a physical reality where they have duality. Everything gonna have two sides, but it's how you look at it. If you at this low frequency, I feel as though it is our job that we obtain balance with it and understand both sides of it. Because even if you are the healthiest person, for example, because I came from maybe low frequency where I was all the way up to health and wellness like I am now. But even if you are at the healthiest person, I feel that it's okay to go on the other side and just experience eating something that you don't maybe normally eat, simply because because you can, because first of all, because of number one, because you realize that all is mental anyway. So anytime you eat in something, you're pretty much just eating the yourself, you're eating the universe, if we really want to get technical with it. So it's nothing where you have to be only all holier than thou, only one side, one frequency always, because you came here for the thrills, chills, and expansion. You came to explore every frequency, because all all is God is the point. But see, what happens is I feel as though it is purposeful for us to be at low frequency and experience dis-ease and disharmony, because that is the very thing that'll prompt us to want to increase our frequency to wellness. But basically, at the end of the day, it's just your higher self saying, okay, you did that already. Okay, you came here and did the little toxic thing already. So why don't you try to do something a little bit different? Why don't you experience the totality of being God, instead of just one little frequency that's really a low frequency? You know, they have health and wellness there in the physical reality. You know, they have love there. You experience hate. Well, why don't you go ahead and experience love? Why don't you get tired of experiencing this here frequency? Because all is God. Some people might disagree with me on that one. That's just my take. You could spit it out if you want to. We move into number 5. Number 5 is the principle of rhythm. The principle of rhythm. And this particular one is just basically saying that everything flows. Everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall like a pendulum swinging. And so on this particular principle, it ties to, remember in the biblical text in the book of Ezekiel, no, not Ezekiel, Ecclesiastes, where they say for everything there's a season, and there's a time for every action or activity underneath the sun. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to harvest. Well, this principle, it correlates to the principle of rhythm. And so basically this, you can look at this one as you're breathing too. You know, when you breathe breath in and out, you know, your heartbeat. Basically, it's all about balance, this here principle, to me as well. To be born and to die. Because you have to experience, just like I was just saying with the one prior to the polarity, you have to experience both sides of everything, because this is what you came here for in the physical reality, to experience these thrills, these chills, the expansion. Hey, Mel, how are you? In order to tap into your higher self and to tap into who you are. Okay, let's see. Hey, Danae, thank you for being here. Thank y'all for joining. Okay, so that was the principle of rhythm. That's number 5. So number 6 is the principle of cause and effect. And this one simply states that for every cause, it's going to have its effect. And every effect is going to have its cause. But everything is happening according to the law of the universe. Now, what I want to share about this one, first of all, the correlation of this one is it correlates to me with Newton's law, you know, the one we learned here in the physical reality about every action has an equal and opposite reaction, I believe it goes. But the thing that I want to share about this particular one, and people might think, okay, this is evil, but this is knowledge. This is knowledge that I want to share with you. Okay, so cause and effect. This one kind of ties to me and reminds me of this thing called karma. But as you evolve in your physical reality, I want to share this with you. You can beat karma. And I want to share with you how you can beat karma. You beat karma, the so-called karma, as a god or goddess by making peace in your mind. We're going to go back to number one, the most powerful one. All is mental. You make peace in your mind about the cause or the effect. So say, for example, let's say something you might think is bad. I don't know, stealing something from the store. So let's say, for example, you stole some shoes from the store. And so now in your mind, because in the physical reality, you've been programmed to say that, to know that stealing is not good. But in your mind, you can make peace with this so-called karma, so it wouldn't come back to you, the cause and effect side of it. It wouldn't come back to you because you make a peace in your mind, and because all is mental, by just simply saying, well, I needed those shoes. I needed those shoes because it was cold outside. I didn't have the money to buy those shoes. And so I'm making peace with this cause and effect because the store can just write that off. I didn't get caught. All is well with the store, with their inventory. They could write it off. And now I have my shoes on my feet. And the universe wanted me to have shoes. The universe didn't want me to just be walking around barefooted because it's cold outside and I needed some warmth. The nerve endings on the bottom of my feet did not want to feel the snow between my toes. However, you have to do it in your mind mentally. What I'm saying here, since all is mental, you can beat Trump karma, because this karma is really something programmed in your mind, and all is mental. Hey, Isaac. Hi, Isaac. Thank you for joining. Okay. So that was the cause and effect. And number 7, the principle of gender. Now, this one states that gender is in everything, that everything has a masculine and a feminine principle. And I've talked about this here on videos before about the law of gender. Now, this one here, what it means to me is that we all have male and female principles. Just like I, in the physical reality here, am a woman, but I have masculine and feminine principles. And at different times in my journey will I exude them. If I am around a man, my partner, I'm going to be exuding feminine energy. But there were moments in my life, in my past, when I was single and I didn't have a man or a partner. I was a single mother. And at that time, my situation prompted me to be more masculine because I had to be the so-called protector and climbing the corporate ladder, being the so-called provider. So, but inside of me, I have both. Men have both too. And we call this the yin and the yang. The principle of gender applies to all things in this physical reality as far as sex is concerned, with women and men. But then it applies to things even on an energetic level because, okay, for example, a battery, you look at a battery and they have the negative side and the positive side. Now, it needs both sides, both principles in order for that remote control to work. You have to have both sides of the battery in place. You have to have that negative and that positive in place because there must be balance. The law of gender applies even to fruits and vegetables. There are, for example, the peppers. You could tell some of the bell peppers. You could tell the female and the male ones because of the I don't know how to say the terminology of it. Instead of 4 pieces in the pepper, you have 4, and then you have one that have 3. That's representing the female and the male. Then on watermelons, you have the round watermelon for the female, and then you have the long watermelon for the male. Because even with the fruits, even with the energy side of it, even when it comes to humans, there must be male and there must be female principles. And that is basically because of the law of gender. And so I wanted to share this with everybody on my channel and have it be there for those to come, because really we have the power to create worlds just through our thoughts alone. And as you grow in your journey, you'll understand this one thing, that lower frequency beings cannot hurt you, should not be programming you. As you increase your frequency, you're supposed to be the one that's programming and running this show. It should not be on autopilot. We should have power over the lower energy beings. We should not be in a place in our physical reality where they have power over us. But some of us still are, and it is a journey for us all. But we must master that. We must master that, because that is the ultimate reason why we decided to show face in physical form, to master that. Because in mastering that, we are mastering ourselves, because we are this universe, and the universe is within us. So I just wanted to leave that here. Let me go through these comments right quick and see if I missed something, because I wasn't paying attention. Okay. No. Okay. Thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. For those who do not know, I have a website at www.souloftheearthpub.org. If you're new to my channel, there's where I sell my detoxes, my consultations, my seminars, and my bees body butter. Subscribe to my YouTube channel as well at Soul of the Earth Publishing. There's great love here for you, and I appreciate your time. Be blessed.